Hey everybody, Artosis here, bringing you some CasterMuse Star League Season number 4. This is from the round of 24 in Group F. It's in fact the first match of the group. We have Light, the second best Terran in the whole wide world, in the top right of the map. And in the bottom left, we have Motive, a lesser known but still professional gamer Protoss. Doesn't have a lot of results under his belt, so definitely an underdog here. Definitely an underdog in the tournament, in the group, and especially against a monster like Light. I'm really excited. The map is Eclipse. This is a very nice map. I think TVP is a really fantastic matchup on this map because there's just so many different things that can occur. There's so many aggressive moves that can be had by the Protoss player. But the map is small enough that Terran definitely can do some counterplays. So definitely should be an interesting match. But again, you have to lean towards Light. This guy, as I said, without any doubt, the solid number 2 ranked Terran in the world. Of course, Flash always occupying that top spot. But honestly, if you are a Terran player and you want to learn about how to play Terran, Light is the guy you want to watch. He plays a very standard orthodox style, rather than the big brain plays from Flash. So for me personally, he's the player that I study the most. Now, Motive bringing his probe up immediately here. Let's see if he tries to steal the gas. Yeah, it looks like he's going to. And steals the gas basically at the last possible second here before Light was going to have the money to take that gas. But I think a solid play. Didn't send the probe out too early or anything. Gets the gas. He can do some light harassment with it. And it just kind of annoys Light at this point. Motive back at home does have the gateway going up. I actually want to see him go to Dragoons relatively quickly. I think if you're just doing the offensive gas and not sending your probe out too early, it's really good in my opinion to focus heavily on getting the Dragoons out, right? Because then you can actually beat up on their bunker if they go for a fast expansion in response to this. But we'll see what he does. You know, of course, because he spent that 100 minerals on the simulator, he can't immediately get a gas and a cybernetics core. The build order, of course, can't allow for that. Instead, getting that second pylon so he can continually produce probes, getting out a zealot. And we'll see. I mean, he should send the zealot across the map and see what he can get done, but you can't imagine any real damage being done with a zealot of this speed going against a Light who's been offensive gassed, right? If you get offensive gas, it's very easy to continually make Marines and block zealots coming from an opposing main base. So Light has sent his SCV down. It looks like he realizes, oh, you're trying to go for a Nexus, so let's go ahead and try to block that. The SCV fighting the probe here in the natural. Let's not forget there is a zealot going across the map. Here's the probe as well. And Light has gone ahead and is taking his natural expansion. Of course, there's no gas here. He didn't get to scout that, but seeing the probe kind of gives him at the natural kind of gives him enough information, so he's going to be completely fine here. In fact, I gotta say, I like this for Light so far. Ooh, nice micro there from Light, just beautifully done. Pushes that zealot back. Motive doesn't want to commit. He knows he's not going to actually get any kills there, and honestly, Light doesn't care if he gets damage on the Marines. They're going to go in the bunker anyways. But yeah, let's talk about these openings a little bit, right? Because it was an offensive gas from Motive, which I think is really solid, but he just went directly into a Nexus after making a couple of Zealots without getting his gas. So he can't really do anything against Light here. Light has made the command center, he's made the bunker, and the Dragoon range will be so late at this point that Light can very easily, very comfortably work on his macro. So Light is actually going to have an amazing position here. You know, if you're gonna take that offensive gas, yeah, I guess it takes away the options of your opponent being aggressive towards you, unless they go second barracks or something cheesy like that. But it also kind of lets them play greedily if you're not gonna punish with your own gas. Either way, a couple of gateways going to be going up here for Motive. We'll see if he gets range quickly. He is getting that secondary gas. Light over here getting his first factory, and he's getting a second gas here. We'll see if he goes into a quick 3 factories. That sometimes when you get offensive gas and go into your expansion is the play. There is the second factory, and I think Academy is probably what we're going to see here. Yeah, the Academy going to go up right away. just a very solid counter so far. From here, Light needs to decide, does he want to do a third factory, or is he going to go into a quicker armory? It's most certainly going to be one of those two. Now, his Marines have been poking out in the front a little bit. Just seeing what's out there, right? If there's a probe, if there's a Zealot, whatever, you may as well. He's sent an SCV around the map to scout as well. Looks like Motive going to send a Dragoon up to maybe intercept something like this. You got to figure that something like this will be coming. And sends his probe to his third base. So maybe going to be throwing down his third Nexus as well. Range has just barely started. The Robo almost finished up. See what he wants to do with that Robotech. Is he going to go directly into Reaver? A very popular play nowadays. Over here, we have Light. Yeah, I saw it on that production tab. He is going for the Armory. Also getting a speed upgrade here for his Vultures. So a pretty common play. A single Siege Tank. We'll see if he adds 2 more Siege Tanks. That's the normal way to do it, is to go 3 Siege Tank and then some Vultures to try to put some pressure on your opponent. In this particular case, against 2-gate Range Goon plus Reaver Tech, right? We see the Reaver Tech right here. I don't think he's really going to get damage done unless Motive doesn't get back into position at the right time. So +1 on the way, and he is actually just popping out some Vultures instead of Siege Tanks. Oh, no, wait a second. He makes another Siege Tank. I think this is just because he sees these units move up. If you think your opponent is going to try to bust you or something, you definitely can do that. But you can see the flexibility in Light's play here. He definitely was planning on just popping out maybe 4 to 6 Vultures and running around the map, laying some mines, seeing if he can get harassment. But as more information becomes available, he's throwing down some additional higher tech units here. Those Vultures going to be running out. Look at that scan. He wants to check if he can run in and do some damage, but Motive already has the pylon up. He knows exactly what Light is thinking, so some great counterplay there. Light gonna lay some mines and see what's going on. He actually sees that it is Reaver Tech with the Vultures. I think he already scanned and kind of had an idea that this was coming either way. And in fact sees the shuttle right there. So just going to continue to lay some mines. Some very solid play overall. His third command center is a little bit over halfway done. In fact, just barely slower than the third Nexus. So that's pretty solid for Light, I have to say. Light also getting the engineering bay. Ah, that's kind of interesting, right? He's actually going into... he's got a couple Goliaths and getting Goliath range. Look at that. He's going up to 3 Goliaths. In fact, I wouldn't be too surprised if he goes to 4 Goliath, but also the engineering bays. So it looks like he wants some static turret defense. I think he's probably read that this will likely be shuttle heavy. That's a very popular style right now anyways. A couple more factories coming up. I have to say, I really like how Light is playing this. But then again, when do I not like how Light is playing anything? This guy is really one of the very best players in the world. All right, here comes the first Reaver. Let's see what he gets done. Light actually a bit out of position. Oh my god, he's missed it coming in. I don't know where he was looking at on the map right there, but look at that. A huge Scarab connection. 5 kills, 7 kills, 8 kills from this Reaver. That is so nice. Look at that. He is getting a ton of damage done, losing mining time and everything. This is still alive. I mean, it will be cleaned up. There are range Goliaths here, so there's no way to make it out. In that graphic you just saw right there, that was the Reaver attempting to drop, but the shuttle died at exactly the last moment. So you see the Reaver explode, but it's actually just from killing the shuttle. I actually haven't seen that, but I've seen similar animations in the past. Now, the Dragoons kind of were poking the front there. That really didn't do too much. But overall, look at this. Light is down to 46 SCVs here. That was definitely very disruptive. And Motive is going into carrier play behind this. Very solid. I'm actually like just a little bit surprised to see the carrier play, but honestly, I don't watch Motive a whole lot. So maybe this is just a stylistic thing that he's like a Reaver carrier type of guy. They do pair well together. Very well, in fact. But I don't feel like Light is in a position where he'd be afraid of Motive going carriers. You know, he killed off the Reaver. He's got a pretty quick third command center. He's got his science facility up, so he's started +2 weapons. And, I mean, 2-1 rushes were made to kill carrier builds. So It seems like Light should be all right here. Motive taking another base. Just kind of sitting right outside the range, making Light take this as slowly as possible, right? We saw how he moved the goons back and back and back. And Light slowly but surely moves up into position and drops that. But hold on, we have another Reaver drop. It looks like he sped right in there and dodged any anti-air. Looks like he's not getting that many kills as of yet. Ooh, is he gonna get a connection there? No, that one's gonna dud. And no real turrets here. Uh-oh. No anti-air here as well. This speed shuttle harassment doing fantastically. No kills yet for this Reaver, but he is making the SCVs run around a lot, which is a ton of lost mining time. Oh no, he tries to get back in the main base, but the two Goliaths were waiting there, and now he will go ahead and lose that Reaver in that harassment. But you know what? I think that was definitely worth it. Some nice moves coming out of Motive here. All right, let's look at what Motive has going on. 3 Stargate Carrier. Oh, so that's a big commitment to Carrier. I'm actually getting some chills right now. This definitely does change the math of things a little bit. It's much more standard to see double Stargate Carrier. I think especially in a situation like this where you're using multiple speed prisms for harassment, it's going to allow you to field a bigger gateway army. But with 3 Stargate Carrier, you're just going to have a hell of a lot more carriers, which can be harder to deal with as the numbers grow. But earlier on, like, his army is not all that tough right now. Obviously, we see he does have a lot more supply than Light at the moment. But Light's macro hasn't really hit yet, right? He got slowed down. Oh my god, I was wondering what was happening here, right? Like, he lost some SCVs early on. He had to run them as well. And I'm like, why is there only 4 factories? But he's actually going triple starport Wraith. And this is really, really interesting. Like, Wraiths are not really a counter for carriers. Wraiths are just so weak against everything else Protoss has. You know, observers are not that expensive to make. Dragoons wreck Wraiths. Cannons wreck Wraiths. And generally, those are things that Protoss has in great supply. But sometimes you can mix in going for cloaked Wraiths. It can catch your opponent off guard, and if you just scan and kill any observers nearby, you can generally kill the carriers before they get away. But it is a huge investment. Starports cost almost as much as factories, just 50 minerals less, and then a Wraith, every Wraith you see could have been a siege tank. So it takes a lot of power out of your army, but sometimes that really pays off. If you can ever kill all their carriers, they're going to be in a terrible spot from there. So we'll see how this works out for Light. Oh, I'm really excited about this. It's so rare that you see this, especially at the pro level, really at any level. It's just, it has, the circumstances have to be perfect to make this work out. Light is continuing his mech upgrade, so he's going towards 3-2 right now, which makes a lot of sense if he's going into Wraith as well, right? Because he's not going to have a quick max, which means the 3-2 will actually probably line up with him getting a very strong ground army as well. So I like the ideas here from Light. Motive, let's take a look where he's at, right? He's taking another one of these kind of islandy bases. These are fantastic with Carrier. They're really, really difficult to break. And you can put a lot of cannons up there as well. So that's going to help out against the Wraiths if he does get into a defensive position there. Motive looks like he's preparing to take this base too. See how many gates he has. Not that many, honestly. 8 gateways. That is not that much production for Protoss. At a point like this, you can honestly have many, many more gates than that, but of course he's going triple Stargate Carrier, so that's where his money is being spent. Now, how many observers does he have? We see 2 right here. It's really not that many. We'll see when he actually wants to move out. Ooh, that's a good amount. 9 Wraiths. If you scan and take out these observers very quickly, you will kill everything. Here come the Wraiths right now. The Wraith hit squad coming in. He keeps scanning. He's going after observers. He gets both of them. That means all these carriers are going to go down. Look at this. Powering them down so quickly right now. You can see the power of those Wraiths when you have no idea that they're coming. Oh, here comes another observer, but I think it's too little too late. He's going to pick off every single one of these carriers. Right? Right? Is this one going to get away? And you can see how quickly the Wraiths take damage, right? He went from 9 to 4 in a matter of seconds when an observer and the Dragoons joined into the battle. But now Light has this awesome opportunity. This army from Motive is not all that strong, but Light needs to group his units together. These Zealots getting on top of those siege tanks. He needs more army. His ground army is just not that strong right now. Motive going in. Oh my god, this could be a big upset if he can break through this army all the way. But will he actually be able to? It looks like Light just pulling back. Only Dragoons left, and when there's only Dragoons left, you really need to run out of there. They are going to get absolutely plastered by siege tanks. So once again, Wraith's coming up, scanning, getting the Observer. Yeah, no other Observers in sight, and he is going to pick off a couple more carriers here. Some very strong Wraith play from Light, and it has certainly paid off, but it's what he does from here that matters. Is he going to macro up and do a massive push? It looks like the answer is yes. He's still producing Wraiths, but he's got a lot of factories now. His 3-2 upgrades are almost done, and 3-2 is just, I mean, that makes mech just melt gateway units, especially considering these gateway units are only going to be on +1 attack. So he continues to push forward here. Motive running into position near this third base. There's really not much defense. This is a little bit scary for Light right now. He's only got Vultures and a single Goliath to help fend this off. He absolutely cannot with that army. But he is doing some counter damage. It looks like he's going to kill this base and prevent this one from ever occurring. But that means that he has to float this way. Look at this. Light getting into a very tough spot right now. He has to pull back very, very defensively. Setting up his siege tanks, throwing down some mines, floating his command centers away. This was going to be his 4th base. It looks like he wanted to expand here, but it's taking a lot of damage. It doesn't look like he'll lose it, though. His 3rd base floating over as well. He's run his SCVs out. He still has a very healthy SCV count. So definitely do have to keep that in mind. Might be time to try to take one of these bases as his own as well. Motive has taken a 4th base over here. Of course, he lost his 4th here. He lost the opportunity to take one here as well with Light's attack. Let's see what he has. Storm coming up. Looks like 4 carriers right now. Uh-oh. Wraith's coming in, trying to get that damage. Some nice micro here from Light, and he gets a free pickoff there. He's going to get another one as well. The carriers just don't even really have interceptors yet. Not the greatest reaction there from Motive. And Light getting huge amounts of damage. Does have some observers. Storm is almost done. I think the time of the Wraith is almost over, but it's not like Light has a huge bank. He's barely mining right now. Look at this, 12 minerals, 20 minerals left. The main patch is looking kind of similar to that, very, very light. And now he is relanding at his 3rd base, but we need to see him get a 4th up. We need to see him get full saturation as well, because his mining is just about to run out, and that's about it. That's what you see is what you get until you have more mining here. Motive starting to move across the map. Lots of Zealots and Dragoons. Has those High Templars mixed in. So he's really switched up the way he's doing his unit composition right now, it feels like. I guess he is still producing a decent amount of carriers. Yeah, it feels to me like the backbone of this army right now are going to be the Storms. He doesn't really have great upgrades to fight against this 3-2 mech, which is just dominating against 1-0. And I mean, just 3-2 mech in general is incredibly strong. But Storm doesn't care about those upgrades. So the Storm, I feel like, is going to have to carry the next battles here against Light. Ooh, by the way, okay, he floated his 4th command center down to this base. Has this all set up. This wouldn't be that hard for Motive to kill if he figures out what's going on and what's over here. Looks like he is moving in that general direction. Carriers could take that out, though. Light building a 5th base up here. About 11 o'clock. Getting his SCVs sent over. That's good. If he can get his 62 SCVs actually mining, he's in great shape. But, you know, obviously you don't need 60 SCVs at a single base. So trying to spread them out. Oh, the carrier's coming over towards this new 4th base of Light. And yeah, as this Gateway army kind of walks over, the Wraiths are coming to fight as well. Oh no. Oh no. This keeps happening. He keeps just losing all of his carriers to a few Wraiths. Yeah, no other anti-air here for Motive. So Light going to get a few quick and easy picks. Really, really great usage of these Wraiths so far this game. Poor Motive, I tell you, I would love to have seen him maybe earlier on try to figure out, okay, is Light going to stay making Wraiths? Because Light continues to make them. This is actually a style with the Wraiths that I never see. Like, I definitely see the Wraiths occasionally and use that occasionally to try to surprise a carrier player. But the fact that he continually makes them and mixes them in here and flies them in at the side, if Motive could have realized that this was going to happen, maybe he could have added a little bit more like Corsairs into it to knock them out. We just saw some great High Templar pickoffs there by Light, really focusing down on the pieces of the army that are most valuable. The Zealots and Dragoons will not win this game. Like I said, the High Templars are so important, and he lost about 4 of them to those Vulture raids right there. So, again, some great moves coming out of Light, just keeping in control of this game. Motive, though, I mean, he's still rebuilding his army. You got to give him credit for that, right? He continually makes the carriers. I feel like he's made about 20 carriers this game so far, but hasn't really gotten any sort of critical mass. He does have +3 attack for them. I tell you, with +3 attack, if he made like 3 or 4 Corsairs, 3 or 4 +3 Corsairs would shred these 0/0 Wraiths literally in like 2 seconds. It would not even be close. The Wraiths would evaporate. They would disappear. So I feel like there is a little bit of a missed opportunity with that. All right, Light setting up. Starting to move up this ramp. Looks like Motive wants to fight. Sends everything in here. Decent Psy Storm right there. I like the Psy Storms on some of these Vultures, but the High Templars are getting picked off. It's such an important thing to note. Without those Psy Storms, how are you actually going to battle? You don't have the upgrades. The army composition is not optimal here for Motive either. All right, some more. Look at that. The Wraiths continually picking off the Observers. He does have a lot of Observers mixed in here, though. All right, the Siege Tanks coming up to do battle. And here come the Wraiths once again. Man, I don't think Motive has much gas left in the tank at this point. He's losing his carriers every time. It's pure Dragoon fighting against high ground Siege Tanks at this point. Pung mode for Light as he just starts to roll through. High Templars coming in to give that important support. He does have an EMP. See if he hits it. Not the best EMP. Only hits one trailing High Templar that I think already cast its Storm. The Wraith still looking for an edge, for a way in to get some more kills. Yeah, Light is most certainly in control here. Picking off Observers as he can. What is Motive's plan? He's got about 50 workers. His mining bases, I mean, this one's getting real low. This one's pretty good still. All right, it looks like he wants to take this base, but this is very pushable. You know, you have this position to kind of work off of with the turrets on the high ground. Carriers coming in. But again, oh, that EMP, absolutely awesome. Motive gonna take this fight. He has got to win this fight if he is gonna take this game. But no, that is it. GG, and Light gonna take down Motive.